Ian,
Patrick.
we're fans of the Register.
We are. At least their coverage of the VCS has been fantastic.
We're big fans of Kieran McCarthy out of San Francisco. I owe Kieran McCarthy, let's see, San Francisco, a clam chowder bowl. I think I owe him with some sourdough bread. Sourdough bowl. This is the second time Mr. McCarthy has written about. Third time?
Because there was the first time, then there was the second time where he had to bring back the interview because they were saying he was just trolling.
This is the third time he's talking about the great VCS console.
So we feel a little kinship with Mr. Kieran McCarthy.
So it was at GDC last year with the hotel suite thing.
Yes.
Where he saw the model and then he didn't get straight answers out of the people presenting him, like, what is this? And they couldn't give him any answers.
Yeah.
Basically. But he's back again, Mr. McCarthy.
So he wrote a good article here, and it brings up some very good points, some stuff that we have not brought up ourselves.
And it's a cheeky article again.
It is.
Very cheeky.
But so he brings up something that I didn't notice, and that is that the release date was missed twice. Having twice missed launch dates of December 2017 and July 2019, i.e. next month. This time around, the official launch date is March 2020, although Atari is still not committing to that date, noting on its website, all dates are good faith estimates and subject to change due to unforeseen circumstances.
So this is interesting because
these are not good faith estimates.
When the French Atari CEO, which I believe I think Infogrames bought Atari, so that's why they're French, because Infogrames is French. When he was on with British Jim, with Stuart, good old Stuart, your buddy, he said on that, late this year, early next year.
Right.
2020 isn't late this year, and March isn't exactly that early. I guess it's early-ish.
It would be end of first quarter.
End of first quarter. But the point that Kier is making here in this very cheeky article, I love that word now, is that now you're dropping this date 2.5 years later. And now, though, you've taken literally a few $1 million from people along the way.
Yeah.
And probably going to take more when you do more pre-orders. So we might as well read some of this article. Aside from the fact that Atari hasn't produced any hardware for some 20 years and only has access to its own back catalog of retro games, the VCS will offer the same specs as current game consoles at a time when the next generation of those consoles, with much higher specs, are due on the market. It's not wrong.
Nope.
2020.
This man is telling no lies.
The baseline VCS is supposed to come with 4 gig of RAM, 32 gig of storage, an AMD Ryzen processor, an unspecified AMD Radeon graphics chipset, and will cost $250. It will provide 60 frames per second and 4K resolution. If you want an 8 gig RAM box, the cost jumps to $280. And if you want Atari's controllers with it, an extra $110, $390. Is that true?
Yes.
It's $390 just to get
get everything.
To get their rebranded gamepad and to get the joystick
and the system.
Holy shit.
Yeah, you can walk into probably anywhere, but you can walk Luna, for instance, it's like the price has just dropped again. I want to say PS4s are $199 now, $189.99.
What's the cheapest I can get a new PS4 for and a new Xbox One?
Cheapest? No idea, but I'm going to guess probably $250.
Maybe $200 on sale?
Perhaps. By this Christmas, I'm sure there will be bundles for new ones for $200.
And this is going to cost minimum $250 and really over $300 if you want their crappy controller with the red thumb fucking button things. So he says this is worse. Worse current specs. This is worse than the current specs of the Xbox One and the PS4 for the same price. But come 2020, the new PS5 and newly announced Xbox Project Scarlet will be on the market, offering 8K, 120 frames per second, more storage, and more RAM at the very least. As such, it makes absolutely no sense to buy an Atari VCS. And he links to his original article from July of 2017.
Yep.
In fact, Atari's entire concept of its new console seems confused, to say the least, which is what we said after watching Stuart. The machine will run its own custom operating system, Atari OS, based on Linux.
So the last part that I would bring up is this is a good part. So the Biz is even confused about its only market advantage, the Atari brand and styling, from its announcement this week. The legendary brand is keenly focused at E3 on the things that set Atari VCS apart. Well, this is what Atari said. And the platform's performance capabilities while distancing the hardware from any lingering retro box impressions. Like the modern hardware that it lives on, the Atari VCS digital interface stands out with a striking and modern design, successfully taking inspiration from a vast and beloved heritage. And then he immediately goes to point out that they have not shown off the operating system or any of that. So, we're just taking that on their word that it's going to be striking.
And this is things we've said, whichever way you cut it, the Atari VCS makes absolutely no sense. The company is completely untested when it comes to hardware. And in fact, Atari isn't a real company anymore.
Yep.
It's more of a marketing shell that owns Atari's intellectual property with a skeleton staff and no games expertise. It's a virtual guarantee that the new VCS console will be buggy. I'll argue this. What are the odds this comes out at this point?
I have no idea, honestly.
Is it even money? 1-to-1?
And by the way, go to the register.co.uk and read...
I'll link the article.
Yeah, read Kieran's article. It's very good. He goes into a bit more stuff.
And that's right. They accused them of professional trolling. That's right.
That's what I was talking
about.
So
that was Article 2.
That was Article 2 because he had 3. to pull up the interview.
The audio. Yes,
so he went through and completely reseeded everything.
There's no screenshots of the operating system.
But I don't know if this is actually going to make it. Yes, I think it will. I think they have the money behind them to put out something shitty. I think that they're going to do bare minimum and release something.
Well, it can't be. Well, yeah, but being that they somehow got the deal. We didn't talk about this when they announced it's going to be in GameStop and Walmart stores. If there's still GameStop stores a year from now,
true,
it'll be in GameStop stores, and it's going to be in Walmarts. They must have whoever they had to speak to the Walmart and GameStop buyers, the people that are responsible for getting the product on shelves. They must have really schmoozed them for Walmart to give up.
Give that person a better job somewhere else because they can apparently talk their ass off.
Because for Walmart to say, we're going to give up space in our video game section that Sony, Microsoft, Nintendo have for real products people want.
Real products.
for a $300 retro console that anyone walking by will look at this and be, what the fuck is this? This is going to be a repeat of basically looking at the Atari Jaguar sitting next to the PlayStation and the N64. Right? Like, that's basically
I think you're giving this too much credit.
No, but I'm saying that's what this is going to be.
Yes, I know. I think that...
But the Jaguar had real games that were developed.
Yeah.
I mean, it'd be and it was a system that stood out by itself. This is just...
I'm waiting for the spicy exclusive where they announce a special edition of Roller Coaster Tycoon for like the fucking 5th time.
If they can get that Unreal Tournament 2004 Ultra Edition on there, I might be in.
You'll be the biggest VCS fan out there. What are you doing, Pat? Oh, I'm just playing Unreal Tournament on my Atari. Okay, Pat. I'll talk to you later.
Well, Atari just published that. I think Epic still has the rights to that.
Well, yes, I'm just saying.
But they did publish that. So that was the last time Atari was worth anything to me. It was 15 years ago.
Oh, that's right. They did publish that.
They did, but that was still like, I guess Atari. That was Atari 2.0. This is like 3.5
that was
or 4.
That was Infogrames Atari.
Was that? That was Infogrames?
I'm pretty sure.
That was 2004? Okay. Well, they did that.
Or no, that might have been I don't know. Whatever.
Hasbro.
They went through Hasbro first.
I think that was,
yeah.
Well, I think we're in Atari 3.8 at this point. So anyway, so the closing statement is pretty good here. The closing couple paragraphs. Had Atari simply recreated the beloved Atari 2600 and charged $100 for it, it could have created its own retro market and made a tidy profit. If it had been smart, it could have also opened up its games and encouraged a new generation of gamers and coders to develop new games for the console. Just look at the success of Roblox. I don't know what that is. What's Roblox here?
It's some online thing that kids do.
Okay. Instead of what it's done is spunk $3 million of its fans' money, you can tell they're from the UK, on developing an underpowered, outdated, overpriced, overcomplicated console that will please no one and go nowhere. Here's the thing, Ian. If this doesn't come out, would there even be recourse for people to get their money back at that point?
Well, it was through Indiegogo, so... I mean, I don't think so, because they didn't need to provide a prototype. And, it sucks when this happens, but people constantly forget when you back something, you aren't purchasing something.
No.
You are backing something, and that is your reward for backing it. If it fails, it fails.
You're not backing a guarantee. You're backing a promise
Yeah.
that could be broken, a promise that something in good faith hopefully will come out. I'm not saying this is the laser razor scam thing from a couple years ago. They want to come out with this. If they don't come out with this, Atari's name will ever be dirt. They might as well sell it to the 5th owner at that point. I'll buy the Atari. I'll come out with the Atari hat and speakers. I don't know that ever came out. The watch never came out though. Remember the watch we talked about? I don't think that ever came out. So
the hat with the speakers did.
That did.
I saw people wear.
Oh, that's right. They were clearancing.
They were
clearing
on
out
sale. Yeah.
I should have bought one. There must be other hats with speakers. They probably just rebranded
It's
them.
your pooping hat.
Who would wear a hat? Is that the new like hat with beer cans on the side with straws?
The hat with beer cans was more practical.
Yes. That's still around.
Yeah.
That was a Seaside Heights a big thing in 1985, 86. That was a huge deal back then because people were drinking on the boardwalk, getting drunk. Anyway, so you know who's drunk with good ideas? Atari coming out with the VCS, right?